Hey, it's EJ. Welcome to the Rundown. Tonight, we're going to go after hours because I got TC Restani in-house tonight with South Boston Jeff and Quincy Brisco. Don't go anywhere. And when we come back, we're going to start the Rundown.
This is Detective Quincy Brisco, and you're watching The Rundown with CJ.
Hey, and we're back. Thanks for tuning in. This is The Rundown after hours tonight because I've got some special guests in the penthouse tonight. I'm going to introduce them, and starting to my left, none other than South Boston Jeff is in the house.
Hey, it's good to be here. What's happening, CJ?
Not too much. What are you up to, buddy?
No, I'm like, just ran down here and joined the party. So, I was in bed or something like that.
Literally. He literally ran down here tonight, folks.
Sweet.
And sitting across from me is the illustrious Quincy Brisco.
What's up?
How you doing, Quince?
Oh, all right. Yourself?
Are you getting ready for Halloween?
Oh, yeah. Now, it's the one thing we look forward to every year.
We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. And to my right, the one and the only TC Restani.
What's happening here, CJ? We are on the Rundown, and literally Jeff was running down. I had to look on the security camera. He was running down the street in front of the podcast pen. I was going about warp 10.
He was on a dead sprint to get here on time.
He was better than, the Chariots of Fire.
Unbelievable. we should, yes, for anyone that knows that film, one of my favorites too, Vangelis' theme. Yes.
And also used by Clark Griswold in Vacation.
That's right. Unbelievable.
That's where I heard it first. I never saw Chariots of Fire before that.
Oh, you have to.
I know I've seen it since, but that was the first time I heard that song.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when Chariots of Fire came out when I was like 10, wasn't one of the, Mom, when do you want to go see? How about Raiders of the Lost Ark? How about Chariots of Fire?
Won Best Picture,
Did it?
Yes, it did.
Well, it's kind of a great song, but I'll probably appreciate it now more as an adult.
Right.
But I haven't seen it since I was 10, so I will have to give that a rundown.
It's streaming on a local service near you.
Somewhere it has to be.
So, I wanted to talk a little bit about tonight about what I've been doing other than podcasting, and that's if anyone's listening tonight, I'd like them to check out my Medium articles that are appearing right now online that I've spent a great deal of time writing about pop culture.
I believe I have read them. They're outstanding. You put a lot of detail and panache onto them.
I appreciate it. I do all my own custom everything, from
of course
photos and everything.
I enjoyed it. I do enjoy it. You have a lot of good things, especially if you're a fan of pop culture from the 1980s. It actually transforms you back to the 1980s when you read this thing on Medium.com. And I want you to do one on late night talk shows.
I'd love to. There's a little bit for everything for everybody on there, so I might as well.
Why not?
Yeah. So you give Johnny Carson a little.
I don't think he needs a rub because he's been dead for about 20 years.
So you want me to do present day talk shows?
No, those suck.
Because those are awful. There is that died.
The day Johnny retired was the day talk shows retired.
I would agree with you.
I'll give
David
Letterman. Well, David Letterman was already established by then. But when he went to jump from NBC to CBS, down the drain.
Oh, and I knew when he was coming on the air because I could hear it. We were upstairs in my bedroom and I could hear Johnny's theme, and I knew that my father was downstairs watching.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah,
but I want to read about it on Medium.com.
I appreciate it. You can find me at CJ Cardiac Drop on Medium.com. And like TC said, I talk about a lot of different stories on there. If you're a fan of Star Wars, pop culture, video games, music, there's a little bit of everything on there. I especially like to talk about my experience as a young adult or even a kid growing up in the greatest era of movies, and which I kind of pen as the definitive decade of the best movies that ever existed.
100%.
And so I'd appreciate it if you guys would check me out on that. You can also find me, even though I broadcast exclusively through the Restani network here. You can find me also with a secondary channel on YouTube at The Rundown CJ. You can find some music videos from different music groups that I followed out in the field and put them up for people to enjoy, like Mammothor.
Mammothor.
That's right. We'll give Travis a shout out tonight. So if you're listening, Travis.
He was a great guest. I listened to that episode.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
It was fantastic. They're very, very talented people. I watched that music video that you helped put together with those people. Man.
You like it?
That belongs on Headbangers Ball or something.
Oh, yeah. Ricky Rackman.
That was great. And they're local groups. So, support local groups. If you're living in the Boston area, or New England area, I should say.
That's right. No, there were a ton of local rock bands that haven't gotten the notoriety that they should. And they're playing these smaller clubs, these smaller venues, and they're awesome.
What's your favorite band from New England?
Jay Giles.
Jay Giles Band.
Yes.
I'd have to agree. The Jay Giles Band, that was the first concert I ever saw at the Worcester Centrum. I'm gonna say it was 1980, January of 83, like right before Peter Wolf took a hike.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm jealous because I never got a chance to see them. I've seen Aerosmith, local band, originated from Massachusetts, Extreme,
of course,
but I never got a chance to see Jay Giles.
You never did.
Well, we got to see Extreme play at our high school auditorium.
Oh, tell me about that. What happened with that?
See, it was back in, what was that, Jeff? Back in like 1984 or something?
86 or something like that.
Somewhere in that vicinity.
Wow.
And
they were up their way. They were climbing their way. They were up there from their way to the top and everything. So they shot their Mama Don't Want to Go to School video at our school, like their first one now. There are two versions of that video.
Oh, that's at the high school you went to.
Yeah, so we got a free totally free concert out of the whole deal, and it was extraordinary.
Amazing.
One of the coolest shows I've ever seen, and everything, and it happened to be free.
It was free. It was right before Thanksgiving break.
And they were all local guys, with the exception of Nuno Betancourt, which is the lead guitarist. But I know Gary Sharon, who headlined Van Halen after Sammy Hagar left. He's a local guy, isn't he?
Malden.
Yeah.
Malden.
Oh, he's from Malden.
Malden, Mass. Yeah.
Wow.
Not too far from the Podcast Penthouse. I have to throw in a shout out to one of my favorite New England bands that should have been way popular, and that's Fahrenheit with Charlie Farron.
Oh, my God.
Charlie Farron, one of my favorite people in the world, a friend of the show, been on a million times. In fact, I think he's actually in the After Hours Hall of Fame.
Really?
And because he's been on the show more times than anybody else.
They'll have to check this out on the channel.
And Charlie, because my favorite song by him is "It's Impossible, It's an Impossible World."
You could sing backup on this too.
I could. I've seen them many, many times. They were fantastic. And Charlie is a good friend of mine, follows me on all the socials. And we need to get him down here.
I would love to meet him.
He lives out in Chelmsford. He's not too far.
No? Does he still perform?
Everywhere. He retired from whatever his day job was, and now plays all over the country. He's a Malden boy too. Something in the water in Malden.
We got some real talent down here in Malden.
Right. Something in the water.
So, changing gears here a little bit, Halloween is fast approaching. So I wanted to go around the table tonight and discuss a little bit from the Halloween franchise, John Carpenter's Halloween franchise, and ask you guys what your favorite Halloween film was.
Wow.
Yeah. You got one? We'll start with TC.
You're going to start with
TC. We'll start with TC.
Okay, all right. As everybody knows on this panel, have been listening to the show, whether the After Hours podcast or the Rundown, I got a soft spot for my boy Jason. All right?
We know.
I'm a Friday the 13th guy. Jason will always be my favorite.
We know.
But I've dabbled in the Halloween movies. I can't say I've seen all of them.
Okay.
I've seen the original
We'll take
one.
what we can get.
The 1978 one.
Right.
But I do like the second one a lot.
How about that?
It maybe I don't know why, but it was just probably because I think I saw that one more on cable back in the day than the original one.
Yeah.
And it starred Jamie Lee Curtis and Lance Guest from The Last Starfighter.
That's right.
And, of course, Donald Pleasance
Yep.
as Dr. Loomis. And, of course, I didn't know it at the time, but they had a song from Back to the Future in Halloween 2.
Why don't you tell everyone what it was?
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Dum, 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 dum. Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
fantastic. I know purists out there, Halloween purists. Don't get me wrong. I liked the first one a lot. It was frightening, but unlike the Friday the 13th franchise, like the first one,
Right.
you didn't know who the killer was.
Right.
In the opening of Halloween, you know who did it.
Absolutely 100%. Yeah.
So even though he was a little kid dressed in a clown outfit,
Right.
you knew who he was. But that's why Friday the 13th had more mystery. Yeah, mystique and mystery to me.
Okay. All right.
But I'm going to go with part 2 of Halloween 2.
All right. How about you, Jeff?
Well, like I'm agreeing with him. We're diehard fans of it. Well, everybody knows that. You know that, but
Anyone who knows us knows,
let me
yeah.
talk. Yeah, I'm a closet fan of the third one, Halloween 3, with the one with the silver shamrock masks.
Season of the Witch.
Yeah,
Did not have
because-
Michael Myers in it.
No, but it did have what's the name? That old guy who was in RoboCop. He was running the
You mean the guy who ran OCP?
yeah.
His name escapes me.
Oh, he was O'Hurley.
Michael Jonathan
I don't know
O'Hurley.
what his first- I don't know what his first name was.
Yeah.
That's it,
We all
yeah.
know him, and he's the father of the Manny Fraker from Death Wish 3,
Who was the
But-
original Chuck on Happy Days.
But like
Oh, I
his
did know
character,
that.
yeah. But his character in Halloween 3, it's like so much like C. Montgomery Burns from The Simpsons. It's ridiculous, you know.
Wow.
He's like a sinister old man, and he's like and
I dug that movie a lot.
yeah, and you had what's his name? Not Tom Skerritt, but Tom.
oh, I know who you're talking about. The guy was in all the John Carpenter movies. He was in Escape from New York. He's at all the horror cons and what. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Got the mustache. CJ will look it up because he actually fact checks.
I think you guys are talking about Tom Atkins.
Tom Atkins.
Tom Atkins, you are
certainly
correct.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are correct, sir.
Yes, sir. Established guy. Is he still around, Tom Atkins? Let's check it out. He's 88 years young, folks.
He still goes to these shows too.
And a handsome bastard still.
Yeah, he kind of. Let me see that picture again.
without his mustache, but yeah,
that's
like
him.
That.
That's him.
him. All right, but I
enjoyed that
big
movie,
fan
Jeff.
big fan of Halloween Part 3 over here.
They've rebooted this franchise twice.
Too many times, in my opinion. But
Well, yeah, I mean, they have the new trilogy that's out, and they try to change it up a lot. So what they did was in the reboot, the new second one that I'm talking about, they didn't want Laurie Strode to be related to Michael Myers as his stepsister or half-sister.
okay,
So it gets a little confusing with the continuity, but I would go with the first one, 1978. And, it just, because it was the birth of, the legacy of Michael Myers, I guess I would go with that one. It scared the shit out of me as a kid.
and without question, I'm a Jason fan.
Yeah.
But the Halloween theme is as iconic as Jaws.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably get sanctioned for this, but anyone knows this theme, immediately when you hear
You hear
that,
that? You're scared to death.
absolutely.
You know what? In an alternate universe, that's Jason's theme. Okay.
No, it's not.
No.
Hey, did you know that there were 3 different masks on the set of Halloween 1?
Really?
Did you guys know that? Yeah. So what had happened was they had 3 different people, including Nick Castle, that were portraying Michael Myers in different aspects of the film. Nick Castle played the majority of...
he was the shape.
That's what they billed him as
Yeah.
in the first one. He didn't have a credited name as Michael Myers. They called him the Shape. That was right. And there were 3 different masks. And we got a picture on the screen right now that I dug up from the Halloween archives that show all 3 masks in the same room at the same time.
Wow.
But so they made different eye alterations and stuff for 2 of the stuntmen that were on scene.
Wasn't one of them Tony Moran?
Yeah.
We've met him, and actually, if you look on the screen, there he is choking Bull Montana out.
Oh,
Look at the size of Bull's tongue in that picture.
that's a great picture, man. Oh, how long ago was that?
Oh, closing in on maybe 8 or 9 years ago. Here's a little trivia offset. Do you know who Tony Moran's sister was?
Aaron.
Yes, Erin
Happy
Moran.
Days.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
I know my pop culture. So, after the Halloween films, they gave Deborah Hill, who was the writer and the producer of the 1978 Halloween production, gave Nick Castle the original mask because John Carpenter wasn't interested in making a second movie.
Wow. Now, here's an interesting tidbit. Nick Castle, who was the Shape, went on to direct The Last Starfighter with Lance Guest, who was in Halloween 2.
Which, by the way, if you're listening, is on Medium.com. I ran a very exclusive article on The Last Starfighter, and you can read it right on Medium.com at CJ Cardiac Drop.
Unbelievable.
Look at that. But so they gave Nick Castle the mask, and he took it back home, and he put it on his mantle near his fireplace, and forgot all about it. Then Deborah Hill took it back and stuck it in a closet.
Yeah.
And then John Carpenter called and wanted to make the second film. And they were bringing in a different Shape this time.
Who was the Shape in 2?
Stuntman Dick Warlock.
Oh, the legendary Dick Warlock.
Indeed. He was Michael Myers in part 2. That's why
Wow.
you probably like it so much.
That guy's a legend in the stunt business.
And he had a thick head. So they had to come up with another mask. And it needed to be different this time around because Star Trek legend William Shatner got his hand in the cookie jar. And he found out that they were using William Shatner masks that they had painted.
Well, were they using William Shatner masks or unpainted Captain Kirk masks?
We all know the answer to that. But good old Bill wanted to get paid.
Well, in a weird way, didn't he sign his likeness away so they can manufacture this junk?
You would have thought that, but again, Carpenter was doing a low-budgeted horror movie.
Right. But it was still
He
Universal.
probably bailed.
But it was still Universal Pictures, though.
Yeah, well, they didn't fight Shatner on it, so they altered the mask.
Because in 1978, Shatner was an absolute nobody.
He was in obscurity.
He was like living in a trailer until they knocked on his door to say, hey, we're doing Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you didn't like him in T.J. Hooker?
But that was years later.
Well, did you like that?
I mean, he was guest starring on like Cannon and the Streets of San Francisco.
Love boats. So yeah.
You liked him in 3 different roles. Star Trek,
Yeah,
T.J. Hooker.
Yeah, of course. We loved him on T.J. Hooker.
And then you liked him on, what was the third one?
He was in Star Trek, T.J. Hooker, and he did a lot of guest appearances on like detective shows in the 70s.
So he did a good variety.
He did. No, he's a great body of work, but I don't know why he got pissed. It wasn't billed as a William Shatner mask. It's a Captain Kirk mask.
Absolutely. And again, they didn't even have a mask. And what Carpenter did was he sent a couple of guys out as scouts to look for masks. And when they brought that one back, one of the makeup artists, who is called, what's his name? Mick Palagno, I think his name is the mask sculptor on that film. He took the mask and frayed the hair up and painted it and tore at it a little bit, and that was the iconic look that you have for Myers.
Okay, great. You don't see the NHL suing Jason for wearing a hockey mask.
No. And his mask has changed too over the years.
It has.
Jason.
Well, it's been destroyed a few times. But
Yeah.
this is a Halloween show. We're going to stay away from Jason.
That's all right. Hey, you know what? Jason is a part of Halloween. He is.
Part of every holiday.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to put a hockey mask on the top of my Christmas tree this year.
He's an American treasure, folks.
He is. New Jersey. He's a Jersey boy.
But you know what? Outside of Halloween, because I could talk about that all day, let's go around the table. Outside of the Halloween franchise, what was your favorite Halloween movie as a kid or even now as an adult?
All right. I started last time. Have someone else start this time.
We'll go. You want, Jeff? You want to take it?
Sure. Well, there was a very underrated movie called Tobe Hooper's. It was called the Fun House. Yeah, that was a pretty cool.
That.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait a minute. I remember that.
Clown.
I remember that poster. Didn't have the clown have something dripping, like blood dripping from his mouth?
Yeah, well, there was a fat lady on the on the cover of it, and there was some kind of creature
House.
with a drippy mouth. But that was Tobe Hooper's The Fun House. Very underrated, but it was scary as hell. And I always loved
What year did that come out, CJ?
The Funhouse was an '81 film.
Okay, because I remember seeing that. Not that movie, but the poster for it at the secondary theaters. There was one in Medford Square.
Right.
And I think my father took us to see The Devil and Max Devlin.
Oh,
And I think it was around the same time that came out. And that was a hunk of junk as well. So,
but this poster scared the crap out of me as a kid because I didn't do clowns, man.
hey, clowns never
Don't like clowns. I didn't like the clown in a movie you hate.
I don't want to say it.
I didn't like clown. The only clowns
There
that
are
I
two
like were
faces
killer
in that.
clowns.
If you look at that, there's
Let's take a look at this
the
poster.
regular face, but then you zoom into the sleeve or the upper shoulder. Look at the other face.
Oh yeah, look at that, huh?
Very scary, very spooky.
And if you're looking at the screen right now, we have the theatrical poster for that.
So that was Tobey Hooper.
Pray to get in, pray to get out.
That was Toby Hooper. So he must have had a fixation with clowns because in that movie I will never watch again, that begins with a P and says they're here, they had that clown attack. What was the kid's name?
Well, that was Oliver Robbins.
Yeah, but what was his character's name? Was it Robbie?
Robbie, yeah.
Robbie.
Yeah. See, clowns don't bother me at all because I was a big fan of Doink.
Carolyn.
I was a big fan of
I know.
Doink
You
the
just-
Clown.
Doink.
Yeah, remember the wrestler in the early 90s?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. I'm so used to Jeff talking about Bobcat Goldthwait's clown guy.
Oh.
Yeah, what the hell's his name?
That was Shakes the Clown.
Shakes.
Yeah, the epitome of alcoholic clown movies.
Shakes the clown.
Yeah.
So Jeff's favorite movie was the Halloween movie was Funhouse.
Really?
Really?
One of them.
What a
Yeah.
Fun house. How about you, Quincy?
What's your favorite scary movie,
Do you
Quincy?
have a scary movie? What's your favorite scary movie?
I never really watched too many scary movies at all.
How about a classic horror?
I never really watched too many horror movies.
No.
No
What
offense.
Universal Monsters?
What about when you looked in the mirror?
I find a good-looking guy.
Hey.
Good for you, Quince.
Thank you.
Good answer. Good answer. I feel like we're on Family Feud.
All right, TC, you're up to bat.
But
shit.
if you want something in Halloween,
Yeah.
I watched Charlie Brown. It's the Great
That
Pumpkin.
counts.
Oh,
But
yeah,
this
that
counts.
That counts,
Yeah.
Quince.
The Great Pumpkin.
Okay.
This counts.
And so-
Charles
and-
Schultz.
And then
So does the Ghost
If
in
you
Mr.
want to
Chicken.
count one more golden classic, out of all the Charlie Brown films, I'd have to say with a happy ending, the Thanksgiving special, the original one.
Okay.
Because Snoopy knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He always came out on top and always came through for Charlie Brown. But of all the Charlie
I
Brown,
love the Great Pumpkin.
well, it's because Linus
classic.
believed in the Great Pumpkin. Of course, there was no Great Pumpkin.
Now, Quincy, would you have sat in the pumpkin patch with Sally and waited all night for the Great Pumpkin, or you went trick-or-treating with
I went
with
trick-or-treating.
Charlie? You would.
I went trick-or-treating. I got some nice candy, and
No, I mean, if you were in the movie, do you think Linus wasted his time at the end of that movie or not?
I think he probably did. But like I always say, to make a happy ending for all of us, the script was written
That's right.
the way it was written for Linus because he believed in the Great Pumpkin, just like in everything else, the Easter Beagle. The way they wrote it, it was for Linus.
Yeah, there you go.
Like it's the Regal Beagle when Snoopy went out dancing.
No, the Regal Beagle was on Three's Company.
Oh yeah, Regal Beagle. I'm sorry, the Regal Beagle. It's the Easter Beagle, Charlie Brown. But the Regal Beagle, gotta love Jack Tripper.
You,
Yep.
you gotta love Jack Tripper. I don't know. I don't know if Jack Tripper made his way into this conversation, but you're right. Yeah, Jack Tripper was great. Myself, my favorite horror movie that's, I'm gonna have to go. It not really scared me, but it was. It fucked with your head.
Okay.
Was The Shining.
You know, that's funny you mentioned that. That's the #1 rated scariest movie of the 80s, according to Metacritic.
Okay, I mean it's scary on a psychological level. It's
a great movie,
It's
and
not
King
like
hated it.
like a jump out of a boo scaring you. It was just something. But I also find the movie incredibly relaxing.
At the same
I
time.
agree with you. It's
I love that movie.
you watch it and you're gonna fall asleep sometimes.
Right, exactly. And not because it's boring.
You mean the Scatman Crothers parts?
No. It's just the movie is you're in this.
Well, you know what? I think that's part of the aesthetic. You're isolated.
Right.
The snow's falling. Yeah, it's great. I'm like that with The Thing.
Real okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's a lot of snowy things.
Right.
I'm gonna have to say that The Shining, but for different reasons, not because someone's jumping out of a closet with a machete or anything like that. It's just it's relaxing, and then it takes a dark turn.
Does it ever?
Right. So I will have to say that one.
Now, did you see the sequel?
I have not.
I have. I love the Doctor Sleep movie and everything.
Did you like it, Jeff?
I liked it. Yes, I did. Yeah. I mean, of course, no, it doesn't come close to the original.
Right.
But it's a great story and everything. It's Stephen King at his best, and it's pretty good.
I liked it.
I enjoy it. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I liked it, especially the beginning of the Shining, the way Stanley Kubrick films it. And then has
the
that
opening
it has
shot.
that boom, 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 boom.
It's phenomenal.
And the credits go up.
Did you? Yes.
Yeah. So
yes, I love it.
That's one of I don't know if that's my favorite Stanley Kubrick movie.
Good pick, man.
You know what's morphing into my favorite Stanley Kubrick movie of all time?
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yes, it is.
It's a very underrated
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
I mean,
It
I
is.
thought it was going to be something totally different, and I didn't see it theatrically when it came out in 1999.
We all know I did because we went up because that night after that we went up to Rhode Island and
outta here.
checked out the strippers and everything, and I was just
What?
commenting to the strippers. I've seen so much nudity today. Ever hear this new Tom Cruise movie, Stanley Kubrick?
Wow.
But yes, I did catch its theatric release, and the movie holds holds something close to my heart. And there's more and more about it as you learn more about Eyes Wide Shut.
It's just that fucking piano. Pew,
Yeah, oh, it's amazing, man. Good stuff. Hey, these are great picks,
And they're
guys.
actually, I think they're releasing that or re-releasing that. I'll go see that in the movie theater because I want to see that on the big screen. That fucking scene in that house, that is eerie and sexy at the same time.
It's really
You're right.
good,
You're
yeah.
right.
But it's like I got nervous for the Tom Cruise character in that mansion.
Yeah.
All right?
It's-
Not when he got caught, but before he got caught, when he's roaming around and
feel the tension.
and someone's noticing him
Right.
and whatnot.
Right.
That was fucked up.
Yeah,
Great movie.
the really high up and everything, and they were creepy masks, but the high up guys were like following them around the house and everything,
Right.
sending gorgeous naked broads over there to talk to them.
Right. So that movie, I mean, it had a slow build up to that.
Right.
But it was watching that. You have to watch that movie at night. You can't
Oh,
watch it during
sure.
the day.
They do.
It doesn't work during
No.
the day.
And I think Cruise was married to Kidman at the time.
He was,
So
yeah.
his chemistry was perfect on set with her.
And there's controversy around that. Was Stanley Kubrick whacked because of that, exposing all that, Illuminati shit?
I don't know. Do you believe that shit? Or you think that's just urban myth?
Oh no, I totally. Well, I
Really?
believe in it, but it's definitely worth looking into the whole aftermath and
Weird
everything
conspiracy
about
theory.
it. Yeah, everything. It's my favorite Hollywood conspiracy
And
theory of all.
If it wasn't because of that movie they made, they could have whacked him because it was the 30th anniversary of the moon landing, which supposedly he filmed and faked.
Fate.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. Well, I was going to talk about
what's yours?
a movie that scared the shit out of me. Okay. I didn't see it in 1980. It's from 1980. I saw it a few years after that. and
Friday the 13th.
No.
Oh, okay.
Although we all know my history
I
with
know,
Friday the 13th being my all-time favorite. Believe it or not, my father had taped this movie on a VHS tape. And I was going through the tapes one day and I found it.
Uh-oh.
The entity?
Terror Train.
Oh, Terror Train. Great.
Jamie
Excellent.
Lee Curtis, the Rhoda Spottiswoode film from 1980, had David Copperfield in it.
The Magician?
Yes, had Ben Johnson in it, Thomas Drake. Great movie. It scared me as a kid. They shot this entire film on a train, the tension, the buildup. It's about a group of high schoolers, right, Jeff? That get on a train.
And they're a group of high schoolers that are celebrating their graduation. But
Right.
it has a
And there's a
very good shot,
twist
very
at the
well,
end.
very well shot movie.
What about Happy Birthday to Me? Remember that one?
I do, but
Wasn't it
Terror
as good as
Train
Terror
was a
Train?
lot.
No, but wasn't the chick from Little House on the Prairie in that?
I didn't see it.
Is she in My Bloody Valentine?
I'd have to defer to the expert on my left on that one. What do you, Jeff?
Melissa Gilbert, you mean?
No, Melissa Sue Anderson.
Yeah. She was in My Bloody Valentine.
Okay.
She was. So it wasn't in your head.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Motel Hell, Jeff.
Oh, I love that one and everything. That one's one of my favorites. It has Nancy Parsons and who played Miss Balbricker in the Porky's movies, and Rory Calhoun, and they run this bed and breakfast and everything, but they're really killing all the they're really killing all the local people and sticking them in the ground and making beef jerky out of them. But it's a very
Beef jerky.
yeah, very underrated movie, and yeah.
And the reason I have not seen that movie in its entirety, I may have seen clips of it, but the reason I remember it so vividly, remember every month you got that little cable booklet that talked about all the movies that were coming out?
Do I ever? I have actually started a collection of the HBO guides.
Really? Okay. This was a movie channel one, though.
Oh, I remember the movie channel one.
Yeah, it had
I
a
have
pretty
a few
good
pictures on
crossword
my
puzzle.
phone. Yep,
Yeah.
on my phone, because I was doing a piece on some of the magazines that the cable companies had back when we were kids for the 80s and stuff like that. But I was in a thrift shop and I found a small box of HBO guides.
Wow.
50 cents. There were 10 of them in there.
Oh, you had to take
Indiana Jones.
That would from Raiders debuted on. Let me see if my memory works here. Raiders debuted on HBO in '84, right before Temple of Doom.
It did. In May of 84.
84.
Yep.
Because I remember I was over at my grandmother's because they had HBO. I didn't at the time. And they were sitting there. You know, remember they had that show, that HBO, coming soon on HBO, the monthly whatever.
Right.
And at the very end, they said, and coming in May. The scene went to black. And the next, and the scene that they showed was when they faded up from black, you saw the Jovitos running, and then Indiana Jones pops in the screen. And I was like, my fucking head exploded. I was like, yeah!
Well, it was called, the name of that show was the HBO mailbox, and it gave you the rundown and the ratings of all the movies that are coming down. But I remember the host of HBO mailbox was none other than Mason Adams,
Was
the
it?
Pepperidge Farm guy. Yes.
Oh my God, no kidding.
And that's why I was so goddamn psyched. We were
Famous voice.
Yeah, we were walking through New York one time, and ran into Mason Adams, who was locked out of the theater. He was
Right,
trying to
I
get
remember
into.
that.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey, what do you say? Where's the door?" I was like, "But you're Mason Adams." I was like,
You went
he's
fucking nuts.
"Yes,
I remember that.
yes." He said, "I am Mason Adams," and
my
I was
God.
like following him down the street and everything. And he's like, "Okay," and everything. I gave you an autograph and everything. What do you want now? And,
You celebrity
I'm the
stalking,
celebrity stalker.
stalking Mason Adams.
And speaking of famous
celebrity
voices,
stalking Hoosiers, you.
speaking of famous voices, we were just talking about this earlier today. Who was your favorite disc jockey growing up? Do you famous voices from the past?
Like in reality or on TV?
Either one.
Okay, my favorite fictional one, obviously, is Dr. Johnny Fever from WKRP in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
But in real
Played
life,
by the illustrious Howard Hesseman.
Howard Hessman, which we have met. He's no longer with us.
No.
He was also Eric Lassard's brother Pete in Police Academy 2.
That's right.
And he went on to...
One of Jeff's favorite films.
It is true. One of mine, too. I enjoy Police Academy 2.
Did you like Police Academy 1 or 2 better?
Oh, Police Academy 1.
Okay, thank
But
you.
Police Academy 2 is still one of my favorites.
All right.
I have a warm spot for most of them, except the one when they went to Russia.
Yeah, that's when it all fell apart and everything. And,
That's a terrible
I can't
film,
believe
right,
it. Yeah,
Jeff?
I can't believe. Like right after TC saw it, he called me up and he's like, "Why didn't you tell me how bad that was going to be?"
I fucking blame Jeff because it was so bad.
This is all your fault.
Well, it wasn't even in the theater. It was like released like to video.
It went right to video?
And it was Gutenberg wasn't in that one, was he? I mean, I only saw it once.
No. The first name in the cast was Bubba Smith.
Oh,
Hightower.
Jesus! If that tells you
So-
anything. Now, Bubba Smith was awesome as Hightower, but he's not.
No.
He's not.
That's like saying,
he's not
Police
gonna carry
Academy 4
any
starring
movie,
David
yeah.
Graff. I mean, you just don't lead out with that guy.
No, but yeah, that movie was horrible. But in real life, my favorite, back to the disc jockey, my favorite disc jockey in the local area. I mean, everybody's going to say their favorites on on a big rock and roll station. But when I was a kid, growing up, my mother would listen to WHDH when they played music. And it was Jess Kane was the disc jockey.
Wow.
And the reason it was on every morning when we got up, and we also listened to him when the schools were closing.
Oh, yeah.
He ran down all the schools, and he waited for you guys to show up, and it was, But Jess Kane, because I grew up with the guy every morning.
Sure.
And he was an icon in the Boston area.
Absolutely.
So I would have to say it's Casey Kasem for me.
Oh, really?
Wow, there you go.
Casey Kasem, because not only is he the top
40.
10, the top 10 hits of the summer and everything, but there was so many good the cartoons that I grew up with, which he voiced, like
Did a ton of voices.
Shaggy from Scooby Doo, and just so many.
Robin from Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah, you're
Justice
right about
League.
that. But Casey Kasem was a legend.
Now,
around
was
here.
Casey Kasem on every day, or was he just on the weekend, like top 40?
He was the weekend top 40.
Right.
And now, if you have satellite radio,
They do all the reruns.
70s on 7,
Yeah.
Casey Kasem 24/7.
But I'm getting back to it. But
Yeah.
was he just on the weekends?
Yeah, it was Saturday mornings.
He wasn't syndicated on WZLX or something. They had him on for an hour or something.
Not to my knowledge.
I don't think so. I don't
No.
remember.
No. How about you, Quincy?
Richard,
David
when I
Allen
was a
Boucher?
kid,
Yeah.
WRKOs from Joe Cash to Dale Dorman to Jack O'Brien, and then there came, hey, this is the Wolfman Jack,
Yeah.
with American Graffiti, and then, but all those times it's like I had this thing for me, then, but
Now-
of course you pray to the good Lord, and it's like, yeah, I think you can do a lot of community servicing with disc jockeys music.
Sure.
And here I find myself with the best,
Now, didn't you go to bed every night with the radio on your ear?
pretty much.
Yeah.
And
Before there were headphones, he
Yeah.
would take his transistor and just put it on his ear.
pretty much, yeah.
That's probably why you're deaf
Small
today.
transistor?
Well, back then, don't forget, they had 8-track, and they had headphones, and they had 45s. And then when I was just a kid,
So Dale Dorman, huh? Uncle Dale.
Yeah, I
Uncle
was just
Dale.
going to mention him. He got his start. He was a local personality. He got his start on WLVI, Channel 56
just gonna
as
say.
Uncle Dale.
Right.
Uncle
host-
Dale,
a host-
and then WRKO.
hosting all our favorite cartoons, he was. So
Yes, he was.
yeah, that's how we got to know Uncle Dale.
And of course, he was the one. Hey, come on, kids, coming up tonight on the Brady Bunch. Alice leaves the family.
He did the voiceovers. He was fucking great. Great.
He's no
great.
longer with us.
No. My favorite, Quincy just mentioned a minute ago, was Wolfman Jack, baby.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
that Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, my mother used to listen to her stereo. My father bought my mother a stereo. She had a great turntable, huge vinyl collection, but she listened to the Wolfman. And when I was a kid, man, I'd sit Indian style right in front of the stereo while she sat in her rocking chair and she'd rock back and forth listening to the tunes of Wolfman Jack. When I was a kid.
Unbelievable. Those were the days.
Oh, yeah.
I liked Wolfman Jack, but like I said on a past episode, my first introduction to him, sure I knew who he was on that really bad Battlestar Galactica 1980 when the Cylons went to the radio station. He
Not
was
his
there.
fault.
Well, no, it's not his fault. And of course, he was in American Graffiti.
And he was also a lot of people don't realize this, but he appeared in the movie Motel Hell.
Did he?
Yes, he did. He appeared in it as a preacher. and
Really?
everything, but it was certainly yes.
Did
it
they
was.
Did they chop him up and eat him?
They never got to him for any
okay.
cannibalism, but he was in Motel Hell.
Wow. What was Wolfman Jack's real name? I'm asking you. Does anybody?
I don't think he had a real name. did he?
Yes, he
You,
did.
you think his mother named him Wolfman?
No, nobody knows.
Except
Sitting here tonight?
I have no
Not
idea.
off the top of my head, yeah.
Was his name even Jack?
No. So his real name was Robert Weston Smith, but he never went by that. He just went as the American disc jockey, Wolfman Jack.
When did he leave us?
Wolfman left us July 1st of 1995.
So he's been gone for almost 30 years.
Yeah, and he was just a young guy, 57 when he passed.
57, huh? Wow. He just seems like someone who was always around.
Yeah. Poor guy died of a heart attack in
Well.
North Carolina shortly after finishing a weekly broadcast. He had just gotten home. He's 57 years old.
Singing songs like
Wolfman No
I'm a
More.
walking in the rain to the point I feel the pain. He sings songs, did songs like that.
He would.
You know, Quincy, who I'm shocked that you didn't mention?
Who's that?
Dr. Demento.
Oh, that's another one. Dr. Demento. Yeah,
And, I bet that was that transistor radio was fixed on that. Was fixed.
It was duct taped.
He was the one who he was the one.
Demento show.
He was the one who discovered Weird Al.
yeah, did he just do
Really?
the songs
Yeah.
like "My name is Larry, my name is Larry"? Was that?
Oh, no, your name's Quincy.
No. But he did a kooky song like "My name is Larry." He did songs like "Shaving Cream."
Yeah,
he did
Benny Bell with the shaving cream and everything. But yeah.
What were these
a
songs
lot of,
on TV?
A lot of these, a lot of the weirdest songs got their start on the. You needed to put them somewhere. The Dr. Demento show was it. I loved it.
Oh yeah, you gotta love Dr. Demento.
What year was that on?
Oh, that's like the late 70s.
Late 70s.
Yeah, it was a mid
I
to
never
mid
saw
to,
it
it was
as
a
a
radio
kid.
show.
Oh, I never listened to what I meant.
Yeah, he was syndicated. I think he was on RKO, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, they would play like a couple of his funny songs because
No kidding.
I think I remember listening to him on like a Sunday night or something. Either Saturday or Sunday night back in the day.
It was Sunday night. Yeah.
It was Sunday night? Okay. I knew it was a weekend night. So Wolfman Jack?
Wolfman Jack.
Gotta love some of those songs. He was on part 2 of American Graffiti, but I'll have to say the first one was the best.
Yeah.
More American Graffiti. That was.
I guarantee you, if he didn't die, he would have shown up at one of these Comic Cons. He would have been in his mid
absolutely.
80s and that by now.
And you know who shows up at Comic Cons? And I'm gonna throw her name out. And I was a big fan of her as a kid. I used to watch her all the time on TV.
Who's that?
Anybody sitting at the table ever meet Elvira, Mistress of the Dark?
Of course, a couple of times. Me, Miss Cassandra Peterson.
Right.
But she's
What happened? You
very
met her?
hot. Yeah.
We
yeah,
met her
she's-
both as Elvira and as Cassandra.
Really?
Yeah.
She's very radiant. But I enjoy talking to her because she's done her share of movies with Cheech and
Do
Chong.
we have a picture?
We
of
do not.
that?
That was pre-cell phone days.
Ah, too
Or
bad,
pre-digital
man.
camera days, as a matter of fact. This is going back to probably like the early 2000s.
Where'd you meet her?
Oh, at probably Chiller or one of these local conventions.
Man, I love her.
She still does them every. Not Rock and Shine. Super Mega Fest used to bring her in all the time.
Does she still dress up like Elvira?
Sometimes.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
but I'll have you know it takes about 3 hours and everything.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it takes about 3 hours to get that full Elvira look in there.
Oh my God! What did you guys talk about?
I brought up a few things. I talked about the fact that she spent the night, an innocent night with Elvis Presley.
What?
They were up all night singing because of her red hair. She reminded him a lot of Priscilla.
She slept with the king?
Well, no, it was like I said, it was an innocent night. They stayed up.
They
stayed
roasted
up.
marshmallows.
Yeah,
I
they
bet they
stayed
did.
up all night singing show tunes and stuff like that. But
Wow.
I also brought up that she appeared in a couple of the Cheech and Chong movies.
And she
which
was in
did.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, she was. I say you let me have him first. She was one of the bikers, one of that biker mama she was. But
Great rack too.
yeah, she.
Yeah, she does.
As a kid, I would admire that.
And she appeared at WrestleMania 2.
I don't remember that. I should be shot where I
She
stand.
did guest commentary with Jesse the Body.
Who do you think had the better body?
Elizabeth, but she wasn't. But no, Cassandra Peterson was one of the original, like Svengoolie. You know, she was the original, cool ghoul or something.
Absolutely.
And she created that character, marketed that character, and became one of the biggest '80s icons of all
Ever.
time.
Yeah, she's 73 now. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I mean,
She still looks fabulous.
she's very nice. Very, very nice. Now, I don't know if she does conventions anymore because she's getting up there in age, but I guarantee you she'll do another one before it's all said and done.
Now, her daughter, Sadie Pearson, is she a horror movie actress?
I've never heard of her.
Yeah, neither am I. I'm sure Tim Burton or somebody has put her to work somewhere in the movies, but not really sure. But yeah, it's a good thing to ponder. good thing to ponder around at. I've never seen her in any movies, I don't think. But then you said the same thing about Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Yeah, she was in 3 Star Wars movies. That was about it.
Oh, man. How about Tales from the Crypt growing up?
Tales from the Crypt, yes. I watched the episode with Leah Thompson, who was called Beauty is Skin Deep or something, where she sold her soul and she wanted to stay young, and then she got all wrinkly and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that show. That was a good thing. I knew a lot of people that look like the Crypt Keeper.
I loved that show as a kid. Wrote an article
Back
on
in
it
the
on Medium.
80s, there was
Loved
another
it.
one. There was another anthology series. I used to watch the Hitchhiker. Do you remember the Hitchhiker?
I do, but I don't remember seeing it. Yeah. Now, did that spawn the film that had C. Thomas Howell in it, or is that a different?
Well, that was the Hitcher. But
that was the Hitcher.
Yeah, you're right.
Where they pulled apart Jennifer Jason Leigh
Right. Yeah. Oh,
with Rutger Hauer.
God rest
Who
his
actually,
soul.
Rutger Hauer actually worked with Jennifer Jason Leigh in several nude scenes in a 1985 movie that was directed by Paul Verhoeven, who went on to do RoboCop and all these other ones. It was called Flesh and Blood.
Flesh
It
and
was
blood.
it was a Conan the Barbarian meets Beastmaster meets all that medieval shit.
Really?
It came out in 1985, and Jennifer Jason Leigh just liked to be naked in movies, I guess. And she was more naked in this one than she was in Fast Times.
Yeah, 85. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Paul Verhoeven.
Paul Verhoeven, who was a fucking pervert and loved violence. Paul Verhoeven, as you can tell if you saw his movies later on, RoboCop and all that
crazy,
other
man.
stuff. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Rutger Hauer and Jennifer Jason Leigh and other stiffs.
His films are known for their graphic violence, sexual content, and combined with social satire.
There you go.
That is his bio.
Watch Flesh and Blood. If you've never seen it, watch it.
Haven't. I'll have to check it out. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we got more of the rundown.
Hi, this is Quincy Brisco. To all my fans, don't drink and drive.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for watching and listening. We're back with my panel of guests. I'm in the studio tonight with TC Restani, Quincy Brisco, and South Boston Jeff.
Yeah.
But before we get into further discussion, I just wanted to make a mention and send a shout out to ex-Red Sox pitcher Louis Tiant, who passed away at 83.
Bull Montana was very upset about that.
Yeah, he met him several times. I met him several times as well. Not only Bull, but El Tiante, Louis Tiant.
There you go.
Yeah, as a kid, I met him outside of Charlestown Savings Bank. He was a friend of my grandmother's, and he took the time to sign a baseball and a picture, and we got some pictures on the screen. I have a small, area in my
Shrine?
baseball. Yeah, you could call it a shrine of El Tiante. He was a pitcher who started his baseball career in 1964, retired in 1983, played for Cleveland, Boston, Minnesota, New York, Pittsburgh, and California. He was a 3-time All-Star, a 2-time AL/ER leader, and he was a Red Sox forever.
Right-handed or left-handed?
He's a right-handed fireballer.
There you go.
And he got his nickname. He used to smoke Cuban Havana. He was from Havana, Cuba. He used to smoke El Tiante cigars in the dugout. And then he later developed his own cigar company called El Tiante.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with El Gigante, the wrestler from the 90s, does
It doesn't.
Good, because he was horrible.
Well, our hearts are with you, El Tiante. Rest in peace, my friend.
Say hi to Babe Ruth for us.
Yeah, and Pete Rose.
My buddy.
Yeah. You guys into true crime at all?
True crime.
True crime shows.
I'm a true crime nut, but go right ahead.
Is that
know that
a
you are.
Dick Wolf show?
Is that a Dick Wolf? That's Law and Order.
Oh, okay. Do, 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 do.
And we know that Jeff loves true crime. Did you make your way through that entire box set, Dahmer box set that you
I
picked up?
did.
How was it?
It was excellent. Very well acted. Very well acted. His father was played by Richard Jenkins, but the
I
guy
gotta check this out.
But the guy playing Dahmer was excellent too.
Who was it?
Well, I'm not sure the guy's name, but he had Dahmer's mannerisms down. totally and everything. It was it was very good representation of the time, but it was a very good series, one of the best series. Yeah, very good. I'm so glad I bought it and everything. But
that's awesome.
Very good series.
Now, did they follow that right to the end when he gets killed in jail?
Yes.
Oh, they
Yes,
did. So it's a complete.
I'll have to check that out. I like those true crime stories and whatnot.
Well, there's a new one that's on Netflix right now called Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez brothers story.
Oh, the
Have you
rich
seen that?
spoiled kids from Hollywood.
Yeah, if anyone who knows anything about the Menendez case, and they're a hot subject right now. In 1989, they murdered and killed both their parents. They busted into their house with a shotgun and fired 13 to 15 rounds each at each
Did they
parent.
have a reason why they did this?
Allegedly, according to the Menendez brothers, they were victims of systematic physical and mental and sexual abuse at the hands of their father growing up.
Oh, okay.
So they waited until they were in their 20s to get to enact their revenge.
Why wouldn't they have waited until they were underage so they wouldn't have to go away as long?
See, that's the thing, and that's the controversy with this whole thing. And the way that it was designed, I think, in this docudrama that's on Netflix right now, it's sort of slanted toward, reinforcing the fact that they were guilty, which any
Obviously.
normal person could understand that, of course, they are. But there are a lot of people now, especially on social media, that want.
They don't want a retrial, do they?
They do. They do. I mean, they were tried together back in '96, and it was a hung jury.
I remember it was, I did this to my dad. Crying.
Oh man!
There was actually a clip of that in the ending or opening credits of Natural Born Killers.
I
Yeah.
remember that because I've seen that in the theater as well.
That's a great film.
Yeah,
Great
it is.
film. I never got a chance to see that in the theater. You saw that in the theater, brother?
Yeah, I seen it tripping my balls off on mushrooms. But very good, and it was like a total surprise to see Rodney Dangerfield up there with such a part.
Yeah.
The movie was just.
Oh, yeah, he was creepy in that.
Yeah, the movie was just all over the place. So yeah,
That's a great
good movie to
movie,
watch
man.
when you're tripping.
He was yelling at Tatanka because he was watching wrestling. Beat the fuck out of that Indian.
Oh man! I don't want to spend the winter tied to this fucking couch.
I love that movie, The Natural Born Killers.
Well, actually, the voiceover I just did was from The Thing. But yes, Natural Born Killers is an excellent. Is that your favorite movie from?
Oliver Stone?
Oliver Stone?
No, not even
Which
close.
one is?
JFK.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Kevin Costner
Kevin Costner's JFK. That movie woke me up
as the
as to black is white and white is black. Not-
government.
because it was that movie right there was like,
Yeah, that's a great
it
movie,
made you
man.
think.
I haven't seen it in a dog's age, but yeah,
that movie is Oliver Stone's Godfather. Better than Platoon, better than anything else he's done. JFK is it.
high accolade right there.
And I love Natural Born Killers. Don't get me wrong. That movie's fantastic also. The film styles, because like Jeff said, he started when he was tripping. That movie had every different film format in the world. Black and white, 24 frames.
It was really good.
8 millimeter. It was fucked up.
Yeah.
And
it was 3.5 hours long. Did you feel like it dragged at all?
No.
You loved it.
You talking about JFK or Natural Born Killers?
No, JFK.
No, that movie could have gone on for 6 hours and I never would have.
You loved it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
If that ever goes to a midnight showing at like the Coolidge, I'm going to be there first in line.
Large popcorn, large
I
drink.
fucking love that movie.
Nice.
Donald Sutherland was fantastic in it as X, the guy spilling the beans about the government to Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
And what's his name is an underrated performance.
Who's
is
that?
Gary Oldman as Lee Harvey Oswald.
Jesus Christ. Well, Gary Oldman is one of the best method actors on the planet.
He was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Incredible.
That movie was every role in that movie was perfectly cast.
Yeah,
I mean, even
Robert Downey Jr. was fantastic. And
no, that's
everything.
Natural Born Killers. But you are right. He was. What was his name in that?
His name Wayne Gale.
Wayne Gale. Oh, wait a minute! Don't you leave us a witness behind? To tell the tale. We have your camera. Then they shoot the shit out of him. That was supposed to be Geraldo Rivera, but that's awesome. That movie's fantastic. And Tommy Lee Jones is fucking nuts as that warden.
I
he's
just
great.
would have said something about him, but
Right.
what's his name? Tom Sizemore and everything.
Yep.
Very underrated role by him.
Scagnetti on Scagnetti.
Tons of stars of that too.
Everybody's
Kevin Bacon, Tommy Lee Jones, Laurie Metcalf, Gary Oldman, Michael Rooker, Sissy Spacek was in
Sissy
this?
Spacek played Kevin Costner's wife Elizabeth in that movie.
Uh-huh.
Usually I don't like Sissy Spacek, but she was fantastic in this.
All right and everything. When you said oh, he was in the movie JFK. Look, who wasn't in JFK?
That is true. John Candy was in JFK playing a serious role.
Really?
And everybody on set says,
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, Dean Andrews.
Dean Andrews. He goes, even Oliver Stone said John Candy could have been the next big dramatic actor if he didn't pass away.
Yeah, what a shame, man.
And because he was so talented, usually you see, you think of John Candy's bumbling around and making people laugh with it. In this one, he was such a slime ball in this, and he played it brilliantly.
Amazing. I mean, I'm looking at Ron Rifkin, John Larroquette, Wayne Nice.
Yes, and you know what his name was in this movie? Newman.
Yeah, Newman Bertel.
Right.
Jack Lemmon.
The Chief Hurst from the Police Academy.
That's right. He was in that, Chief Hurst.
I remember seeing this film a while back. My mother had rented it, and I fell asleep in the middle of it, man. I'll have to go back and
How old
rewatch
were you
it.
when you watched it?
I don't remember. I'll go back and watch
Because
it.
I saw this for the
When
first...
did this come out?
91, but I didn't see it until 93.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it again.
I was, 22 years old?
Yeah.
And someone said, oh, you're into all that conspiracy? I go, nah, not really. He goes, watch this, and you will be. And God damn it, they were right.
Seriously.
And
it's not the first film I think of when I think of Stone.
And the score by John Williams is haunting.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. Well, any score that John Williams does is perfect.
This was his second time working with Oliver Stone. The first one was Born on the 4th of July.
Right?
And this,
which I love.
This one is just, you feel Kennedy's presence when he plays that theme.
And did they integrate? Now Costner's what? Garrison? He plays Garrison?
Jim Garrison.
Does anybody play the president? Or they just use older clips?
No, they actually used the Zapruder film.
And they integrate it into the film.
Oh yeah. I mean, they recreate the shooting from different angles, but you don't see the Kennedy's face.
Yeah.
They show the Zapruder film.
Right.
And this movie woke up a lot of the people on this country.
Yeah.
I mean, if you actually think
He's a great filmmaker.
you actually think that Lee Harvey Oswald did this, you're an imbecile. Because if you watch the film, the Zapruder film, he gets shot and he goes back and to the left. If you get shot from the back, you're going to go forward. This one, it shot him in the front of the head, and he went back into the left. I mean, Ray Charles could see that.
Yeah.
But,
well, they thought the American public was stupid.
Right. And the other thing that proves it was two shots, there was a guy named Tague that was under the bridge, and he got nicked by another bullet. So they only said there were 3 shots fired. He got hit with one. That's 4.
Oh, amazing. So, I'm going to go back and watch this.
You have to. You have to. This movie is...
Yeah,
I mean, it's iconic. It's
like I said, I saw it.
It's
the
not
one
even
time.
iconic. This is the movie movie that I've seen that makes you think the most out of any movie you've ever seen in your life.
That's a high bill right there, man.
You know, I believed a man could fly in Superman.
Yeah,
and seeing this movie, no way, Lee Harvey Oswald did this.
Yeah,
and he even says it. I'm just the patsy. They set him up. And they got away with it.
Now, where does Jack Ruby fit into all this?
Jack Ruby he was a bagman for the Dallas mob.
Right.
So they snuck him in because obviously the cops knew who the mafia people was. And to keep Lee Harvey Oswald from chirping,
boom,
live on television.
Unbelievable.
Public execution.
Sending a message.
And then, Jack Ruby dies in jail like a couple years later of an advanced cancer. Right. So, yeah, they silenced him too.
Now, I'm surprised that Stone did a new movie about Bobby Kennedy. And this
no one cares. He wasn't the president. He wasn't the president.
I get it, but he could have done a pretty good.
Yeah, JFK was first. I mean, he couldn't do one on Lincoln because no one was there.
Spielberg did that one.
Yeah,
and it was terrible. I didn't like it.
Maybe Oliver Stone should do Lincoln.
And the first film I think of when you think of Oliver Stone, I do love Natural Born Killers. One of my favorite. I have the 4K at home, but it's always Platoon that comes first to mind.
Yeah, no, Platoon's an awesome movie. I'm not
Love
saying it's not.
Platoon.
Yeah.
But if someone put a gun to my head, not Lee Harvey Oswald guns because it didn't exist, which is your favorite which is your favorite Oliver Stone movie of all time? Without question, JFK.
That's a good pick. Out of left field. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, watch that movie. And you know what? The anniversary is coming up. The 61st anniversary of the assassination of JFK, not by Lee Harvey Oswald.
There we go. Unbelievable, man.
Back-
I had a really good time tonight, guys.
And to the left.
Back into the. I have homework for.
I'm sure that's on 4K somewhere.
Oh, JFK?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Because the reason I'm saying that is the Zapruder film will now be in 4K.
amazing.
Oh, you got your homework, and we got the countdown to the chiller and everything. 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now.
Less than 2 weeks.
Less than no, it's 2 weeks from tomorrow.
And they're adding bodies as we speak to this chiller convention, guys. Ali Sheedy now.
Ali Sheedy, I know you're hot for her.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What were you hot? What movie made you go hot for her?
What movie didn't make me go hot
Okay,
for
but
her?
which
I
one-
loved it. Well, obviously, I loved her in The Breakfast Club.
Okay, War Games for me is what you did.
War
for me.
Game, she was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the movie that she did with John Candy, Only the Lonely.
Only the lonely.
That was a great movie.
She was beautiful, man.
And she's a very good, attractive
Still
girl.
beautiful. I guess Molly's going to be down there too. Molly Ringwald.
she's all right.
How about Anthony Michael Hall? You going down?
He's not going to be there.
Nah,
No.
he's a local
Here-
guy.
Here's something. Molly Ringwald played Jeffrey Dahmer's stepmother.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. She's not really as recognizable these days and everything, but yep, she's the one. She didn't do a bad job, but
We met Molly a few times. She did
Yeah.
Broadway. She was in Cabaret. She was okay. I mean, she wasn't, she wasn't as friendly as Ali Sheedy was, because I met her at a bowling alley back in like 1997. She was filming a movie with Tyne Daly up at the Town Line Bowling Alley in beautiful, what was that, Malden, Massachusetts.
Town
Tyne
Line.
Daly.
Yeah,
Tyne
the-
Daly.
Cagney and Lacey.
That's right.
Amazing, man.
She was. I've met the only person from the Breakfast Club I haven't met was
Emilio.
no. We met him. He did a thing in New York once. Bender. What's his real name?
Oh, Judd Nelson.
Judd Nelson.
Judd Nelson.
Judd Nelson. He does shows now. He's from Maine originally.
That's right.
Anthony Michael Hall's little sister and everything had the hots for me.
That is
one
true.
Time.
I remember that was the Pee Wee Herman convention. So that would have been around 2006, 7, somewhere in there.
Paul Rubens.
But yeah, that's right. Anthony Michael Hall's sister, who was in the Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
She was his sister.
And this
pretty
is a
much.
super hot lineup, man, at Chiller. So you got Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheedy, Mickey Rourke is going to be there.
Mickey Rourke. If he doesn't
Randy the Ram.
doesn't
Ram
OD by
Jam.
then.
And we got one of Jeff's keys,
Who's this
Tommy
kid?
Chung.
Tommy Chong.
Cheech and Chong.
Hey, Playboy, Kendra on top. Kendra Wilkinson's going to be.
Wasn't she on that reality show with Hugh Hefner?
Yeah, I think she was.
Right. The Girls Next Door or something.
I think so.
I
Well,
think
I'd
that-
like to live next to her. I'm a brunette guy, but she's hot, man.
No, yeah. Well, she didn't Hef throw her to the curb.
Then we have In Your Eyes, the light, the heat, John Cusack.
Okay.
Is
Never
gonna be
met
there.
John Cusack.
No. He strikes me as someone who's very matter of fact. Here's your autograph.
But
America?
the big one and everything is Corey Feldman.
Corey
You'll be able to see. You'll be able to see.
Be down there with the other frog brother.
Yeah, you'll be able to see.
Jameson
James
Newlander.
Newlander. Yeah.
Put the old machete to retirement, because after that I'm not going to really have any room.
You got no room on that thing anymore.
And TC's buddy, Tom Wilson's making an appearance
Biff
down there.
Tannen?
With, I think, Leia.
No, she's at
Gonna be there?
She's at Rhode Island.
Oh, I always, okay. But
week later.
Tom is going to be at both.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
And they're adding Predator people. Richard Chavez and Bill Duke are going to be there.
Bill Duke.
Cool Duke.
We'll take Cook's car. He won't be needing it.
And I love when he cuts himself shaving.
That's right. He was in Car Wash. Remember that movie that came out in 1976?
I do, but it's not even listed here on his
And he's a big time director too. He directed a lot of TV shows and whatnot. Bill Duke.
rare appearance.
Well, the guy is 83 years old.
Amazing. Well, Kate Jackson's going to be there.
Not my favorite Angel, and she's a weirdo from what I heard.
Is she a
Yeah, a lot of the
spaceship?
hounds have told me that she's out there.
We know you're going down for Judy Strangis and Dieter All.
Of course, Electra Woman and Dinah Girl.
Got to get them on the same photo.
100%.
Ooh.
I rarely get things at these shows. I usually go down there and take pictures of Jeff and all these other people, celebrities and whatnot. But Judy Strangis, I was like, she did it for me when I was 6. All right.
Yeah.
So now at 53, she still looks unbelievable for her age.
I mean, and given the fact that you and Jeff, I mean, your autograph collection is incredible.
It's ridiculous.
I can't believe you didn't have Dee Hall.
Well, she shoots Days of Our Life in Hollywood. She really doesn't do Broadway or anything like that.
Weren't you out there on tour when you were visiting Back to the Future?
Yeah, but I wasn't on the hunt for Deirdre Hall when I was out there.
Love her.
Okay, I like Diner Girl. All right, and Judy Strangis, I don't know what Burger King she was working at. All right, but God bless her. I'm finally going to meet her. So.
Hey, TC, tell us about the photo that I'm holding up on that. I'm holding the Gonk Droid photo.
Yeah, you were down here earlier taking some photos down here with Restani Productions. On the wall in one of our edit suites we have an autograph picture of the Gonk Droid, which was played by Rusty Jaff. He was also one of the Oompa Loompas in the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
I met him. We met him a couple of times. He looks like a dwarf version of Boss Hogg.
He does.
Is he a mental patient? I mean, he's crazy.
Very nice guy.
Nice guy.
Oh, super nice guy.
Okay.
Because he did some chocolate fest earlier this year, and it was a snowstorm, and I said, I need this guy.
Yeah.
So I drove to the place, went in. There was a line. He was just sitting there. I go, listen, I'm not going to wait in this line. I'm here for you. Oh, come over here, mate. Come on. He's from England. Come on over here. He signed the gimmick. I was out of there in 5 minutes.
That's it.
That was it. I didn't care about anybody else.
Who was there? Charlie Bucket was there.
Yeah, the Willy Wonka
people from Willy Wonka.
Right.
So minus Gene Wilder.
I was looking at him. I go, Rusty Jaff. I go, oh, he's going to be there.
Jeff.
And then I looked at his IMDb. I go, holy shit, he was the Gonk Droid.
This is awesome.
So there's no way I'm passing up to getting.
I can't believe he fit in that Gonk.
And when I gave it to him, he knew exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Because he autographed it. He wrote Rusty Jaff Gonk.
Yeah.
So
custom.
Nice guy, very nice guy.
Looking at the screen, I got a chance to hold this piece of history.
It is a piece of history.
Star Wars history. You'd never get that signature. That is a guy that you wouldn't even think to get unless you're a hardcore
And he's
collector.
also in his pushing 80. So, and he lives in England.
And he was in Willow. You said
he was what?
In Willow.
No, he was in Willy Wonka. He was one of the Oompa Loompas in Willy Wonka. There were
the guy you're thinking of. In Willow, he was another guy who looked like
not
Boss
Warwick
Hogg.
Davis.
No, not
Billy
Warwick.
Barty, the great Billy Barty.
Not Billy Barty. This guy played Burglecut. He was like the guy who owned all the
Yes!
land. He was,
Oh, okay, all right.
So basically, he was a Willow version of Boss Hogg.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, he's
you
dead.
met him too?
No, he's dead. No, I never met Burglecut.
Man.
But we did meet. What was the guy with the arrow? The Vunkard. Remember the army guy in Willow, the archer.
Oh yeah, Jeff. What was his name, man?
I'm not sure and everything.
He was
I'm
on
gonna have to watch it.
Seinfeld.
Oh, that guy, with the beard. But
Yeah, he talks like this. How you doing? He was Vunkard in Willow.
Let me look it up.
Him
because
and-
that's gonna kill
Him
me.
Conway.
Who?
Are you talking about Art?
And it wasn't Billy Barty.
No, Billy. We never got the chance to meet Billy Barty.
Ron
Carney?
Tarr?
Are you talking about Art Carney?
No, was Art Carney a midget?
No,
Gerald Staton,
If you show me the picture I had,
Malcolm Dixon. Here,
Oh,
scroll
let me look
through.
at this. You talk about
I
Art
can't
Carney for a
think.
second.
Most of those dwarfs were in, and wait a second. Everyone's laughing down here. That's a totally appropriate term to use now. They suffer from dwarfism.
yes,
Okay,
but you were probably about to say they were
Small
most
people?
of them, and a lot of them played Ewoks.
They did, but I was thinking
Phil
of
Fonacaro.
Okay.
That dude.
Was he in one of your favorite movies, Time Bandits?
He was not.
A lot of those guys were.
Well, Jack Purvis was, because he was one of the head Jawas in Return of the Star Wars.
Wasn't he the one that died first out of that group too?
He was the one who in real life.
Yeah,
No, the one that the guy who played Randall blew his brains out.
that's it. That's the one I'm thinking of.
He wasn't in Willow.
Amazing.
Because I think he was dead by then.
I loved Time Bandits.
Oh, Time Bandits is probably one of my favorite Terry Gilliam movies.
Yeah.
Next to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. But it is in my top 5 favorite time travel movies.
Well, there's not too many time travel movies that are decent.
All right. Other than Back to the Future, all 3 of them I count as one movie. All right. That's my all-time favorite. My second one is Time After Time. The one with Malcolm McDowell is H.G. Wells.
You told me about this.
Oh.
I've been looking to stream this movie since you told me about it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I want to see this very much.
My third favorite time travel movie would probably be Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home.
Okay.
Good one.
And the fifth one is going to be Time Bandits. Everybody's going to say, well, Terminator. Terminator's in my top 10. Yeah. But it's near the end of the top 10. You know, it could be number 10.
Yeah.
But Time Bandits was awesome. Fantastic. Another one of my favorite time travel movies was a movie that not many people have seen because it was a made-for-TV movie that only aired theatrically in Europe and Canada, was The Final Countdown. It was a movie about Kirk Douglas was in it. Martin Sheen was in it.
Martin Sheen!
It was about a current-day aircraft carrier in Hawaii that gets time warped to December 6th, 1941, the day before Pearl Harbor.
Whoa.
And they could change the future if they want. I'm not going to get the cat out of the bag.
I have to stream this one, too.
And it's great. It's very...
What year did that come out?
1980.
Oh, I'm in then.
Oh, yeah. Kirk Douglas is in it. James Ferrantino. Even what's his name? Who's the drunk guy we met in McDonald's?
Charles Durning.
Charles Durning. Sure, yeah.
Charles Durning plays a senator in the 40s and whatnot.
Wait a minute. Time out. Hit the brakes.
Yeah.
As Wonka used to say, reverse that. You met him drunk in McDonald's? Tell the story. Jeff.
We were out there celebrity stalking, and we were talking to someone who was like, "Oh, what are you guys out around here looking for celebrities?" We were at the McDonald's, and the famous, it's in this, one of the most famous one in New York. But we were in there, and hey, you guys are around here looking for celebrities? Well, Charles Durning's right over there. We went over to guard him, and he's like, "Hey, Mr. Durning, do you mind signing him?" He was like, "Of course you can. Sit down, boys. What's happening?"
Oh, he was
no shit.
He was blasted.
He was, but he was in a really good mood. So it went out really good. That's how I remember.
It was in between a matinee and an evening show. They go out.
He was gone already.
They go out for dinner or lunch or whatever.
Right.
And we were at the Times Square.
Those highballs.
At the Times Square McDonald's, which is the busiest McDonald's in the world.
This is downtown Manhattan?
It's right in Times Square. You can't miss it. It's still there. It's the same spot.
Wow.
And there's Charles Durning. Now, Charles Durning at this time had to be pushing 400 pounds. He was huge.
Big.
And he had the same messy hair as it was in Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh, man.
Remember him as the cop in there?
Yes.
We're just going to bring in pizzas. We're just bring pizzas. And that was him. And he was sucking down McDonald's like it was going on. He was so drunk happy. He was, I love McDonald's. He didn't do this, but you can just imagine him going, I love McDonald's. Like a little kid eating it. And he was probably in his 70s at the time.
Wow.
So,
unbelievable.
Every time I forget his name, I always have to bring up, who was the drunk actor we met at McDonald's? And it was Charles Durning. Charles Durning.
Hot off the set of Tootsie. Remember he played Jessica Lange's dad in Tootsie?
Oh, yeah. He wanted to bang friggin' Dustin Hoffman.
And he did.
How old was
Dorothy.
he? How old was he when he tapped?
So Charles Durning, let's see. He left the planet he died Christmas Eve of 2012. Christmas Eve.
Okay. When we met him, it was probably...
He was 89.
It was probably, I'm going to say... somewhere between 98 and 2001, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds right.
And you said that he was sucking down McDonald's and
like it was
this
going
man
out of
died
style.
of a heart attack.
Well, like I said, he was almost 400 pounds, and that was
He's
what?
always a big guy.
And that was like 12, 13 years before that. So
yeah.
So he was in his... You said he died when he was 89? Mm-hmm. So he was in his late 70s when we met him.
Oh, man.
So nice guy, but he was just, gone. I'm surprised he didn't get hit by cabs crossing the street in Times Square. That's how fucked up he was.
And he's from Manhattan, so it's no wonder that you found him down there.
He knew the streets, I guess.
Yeah, he hung out at that McDonald's.
No, he was doing a play. And we just, he was on our list that day, but we didn't see him come out, and we went to McDonald's, and someone said, yo, that guy's right there.
And I'm just looking at these facts. Did you know that this man received a Purple Heart at the Battle of the Bulge in World War II?
Good for him.
Amazing. Charles Durning.
Charles Durning that's one of my favorite memories of meeting a celebrity.
They,
Just the way he was,
if that stands out, that's awesome.
just the way he was pounding that McDonald's.
Oh, it's so
Big
good.
Mac guy, he
It's
was a
so
Big Mac
good
guy.
when you're drunk. McDonald's food.
Is it?
Oh, it certainly is.
I've been there. I went to college.
But this
I know.
wasn't late at night. This was like around 4 in the afternoon.
What's your favorite McDonald's to eat when you smash, Jeff?
I love well, I don't like the Big Mac sauce, so I get a Big Mac with no sauce.
You don't like the Thousand Island dressing?
I'm not a big fan of it.
Oh,
No,
that's
I think
Just the lettuce, commando with the cheese.
yeah. That's
Nothing.
all
He
I
wants
eat
the-
and everything.
wants
I don't
the
care. Yeah, I don't care.
Two
for
all
the-
beef patties,
Specials.
no special sauce, lettuce, cheese,
Pickles.
my onions on a sesame seed bun.
Pickles.
Yeah, I don't care for the Big Mac sauce, but yeah, not a fan. But I'm
Which
a
is-
big fan of the Big Mac.
Which is on
Quincy, you like McDonald's? He used to with his brother.
I had that when I was a kid, yeah.
What was
Do you
your
eat it
favorite?
anymore?
Once in a while, I might get a shake and a fry.
There you go.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite thing as a kid? At McDonald's,
Chocolate shake, fries, and
chocolate shake, fries,
Happy
and
Meal.
well, let's see.
It's totally acceptable to say the
Burger.
the apple pie or the cherry pie because they were
Oh,
different
apple
then.
pie.
Yeah,
Got
the
it.
deep fried ones back then.
I'm gonna sicken everyone with my. I love the fillet of fish back then.
But the thing about McDonald's,
I used to eat the fillet
the
of fish.
only other person I ever knew that had a fillet of fish from McDonald's was the Jackal, this mutual friend of me and Jeff's.
Don't get me wrong. I love
the thing
quarter
about
pounder, man.
McDonald's, they used to have the characters like Captain Crook.
I don't have that anymore.
Well,
No,
like-
Captain. What's
Captain Crook. Hey, the Captain Crook, and the hamburger.
The hamburger, Mammoth cheese,
And,
Grimace.
Grimace.
What the
and
hell was Grimace though?
He was a purple gumdrop.
He
Crippled.
was a gumdrop.
Yeah, wasn't he just
And
a
Big
big
Mac.
gumdrop?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was like something like that.
Yeah, he's a gumdrop.
or a
Okay.
grape, or a big grape and everything.
Well, that's what made McDonald's fun.
That was
They-
great.
They had
And he
the
was
cookies.
overweight. That's why he grimaced all the time.
Well, he was
uncomfortable.
he was happy.
He wasn't as happy as the hamburger who got to steal all the
No,
hamburgers.
hamburgers. No. What did he say? And he wants a hamburger. And
See, when I was a little kid, I had a McDonald Land train set with all those, and I had
Get
doll-
out.
Yeah, and I had all the dolls of all
You still have it?
No. I after these things are all lost to time and everything.
Damn,
but
man.
yeah, I wish I still.
My
had
mother
it.
must have cleaned his house.
I had the McDonald's play set. It was
What's
an
this?
actual McDonald's restaurant play set.
Really?
And
Yeah,
you could
I remember that. It was like not the Fisher Price, but those little square figures.
Right? Yeah. It was.
Oh, so you didn't get it as a prize at the store? This
no,
was
no,
like
it was
a
like a
purchase of
Christmas
retail-
gift, right? You know, when I was probably like 8.
It's a McDonald's restaurant that you can play with.
There was remember the old school McDonald's, what they look like?
Absolutely.
That's what it looked like. And you could open it up and you could put someone at the register and all this other shit.
You just Star Wars figures work at McDonald's.
Weebles. Weebles worked at McDonald's.
but they don't fall down.
Exactly. And they worked at McDonald Land in my world.
But they had the kind of like the Fisher Price McDonald's, and they also had a Holiday Inn back in the
Oh,
day.
I remember that. And you could drive with the car in the parking lot. It would go all the way down.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I used to have the Fisher Price garage.
Okay.
Do you remember this?
I had the gas station.
I do. I remember the garage.
Remember that with the elevator? You get to the top, it ring the little bell,
Yeah.
ding, ding, and the
Ding.
car would
It
come down the
whiz
ramp.
down. Sure. I remember that.
I had that.
That was great.
Yeah.
You know, this really now my mind works. I remember playing with that in my hallway as a kid on our green shag rug, and in the other room was it was the opening of That's Hollywood with Tom Bosley. Remember that show? And the only
Yeah.
reason I watched that because it showed because I think it was produced by 20th Century Fox.
So it showed that it was one of the very first to show clips from Star Wars
Yes, and the Poseidon Adventure.
and the French Connection.
Right. And then it was like, and they always talked about, the Star Wars one was my favorite because they showed actually how they did the TIE fighter trench scene
Right.
and all other stuff. But I remember playing with that ding, 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 ding thing, and that came on.
See how your mind works.
That shit triggered that right there. Wow. I haven't thought of that since probably 46 years ago.
See, I'm better than a therapist, man. I'm
You
digging
are.
deep tonight.
Right.
Deep. That's how the rundown works.
Because you heard Tom Bosley's voice,
Oh,
even though he was a prick.
you've rewound your mind tonight.
I have. And to Tom Bosley, of all people.
Unbelievable. Now, speaking of Tom Bosley, was he the first one to die from the original cast of Happy Days outside of, I think Al died after him?
No, Al died in his 90s.
Yeah, oh, wow. Did he
Yeah,
really?
he died not too long ago. I'm going to say probably in the last 15 years.
Have you met anyone from the cast?
Of
I
Happy
know that you
Days?
had.
Of course.
Henry Winkler.
Of course,
Who
yeah.
have you met?
I met him in there, and then the best part about that was when the wait wasn't too long, and I brought him a Batcast sticker. He was very
Look,
impressed.
there's a picture on the screen of him meeting Henry Winkler.
Look at that.
And I said, thank you. And he said, no, thank you.
Okay, that was right. So
It was awesome.
Jeff and I have met between us probably most of the cast of Happy Days.
Right.
I'm jealous. I've not met anyone.
So we've met, obviously, Henry Winkler.
Oh, the Fawns, baby.
Unfortunately, half of them are dicks. Like Potsy and Ralph Malph.
Oh, they're assholes.
Yeah.
Donnie Most, like, what the fuck is he doing?
I'll tell you off air. They said something very disrespectful about Bull. I'm just going to leave it at that on the air.
You're kidding me.
No,
In
no.
front of you?
Under their breath.
Oh, come on.
Bull was up there asking him questions and whatnot, and they basically said, get this beep beep out of here, to each other. And Bull didn't hear it, but I did, and
You're shitting
I said,
me.
Bull,
Anson Williams?
Anson Williams, and Donnie Most. You are the two biggest prick motherfuckers in the world.
Wow.
I hate you more than Quincy hates Steve Martin.
There you go. And it's live, so I hope that you hear it, guys.
Erin Moran, which you mentioned earlier for his brother, was one of the Michael Myers.
Yeah, she was another one that was hammered when she met her. When
Well,
we met
she
her.
was always him.
But very nice. I mean, she was very, very friendly
Before she died.
before she died.
How about Scott Baio? Dick or nice guy?
Never met Scott Baio.
Got him, Jeff?
Nope, neither have I. But yeah, we're both hearing stories now. They're all coming from all the people that have worked with him, but never met Scott Baio.
Yeah, never met Scott Baio. Obviously, Pat Morita was on my very first show.
Yeah, and I've got a soft spot for Pat. Karate Kid.
Ted McGinley, we've met him, but kind of a dick. Kind of a dick. But
Yeah, but he counts. He was on Happy Days.
Al Molinaro?
Never got to meet Al Molinaro. Never. Would have loved to, though. I like those encore meals that he used to promote. Who else was on Happy Days?
Ron Howard.
Never met Ron.
how about Jenny Piccolo there?
Never met Jenny Piccolo. Never met any of the Tuscaderos.
Laverne and Shirley.
Both met Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, I met both of them.
Wow, was Penny Marshall looking like a bag lady when we met her?
Yeah, she had a rough life after Laverne and Shirley.
Why? She
man.
became one of the best Hollywood directors.
I know, man, but she was beating herself up with the drugs and alcohol.
I mean, well, look who her best friend was.
Who?
Carrie Fisher.
Yikes.
I mean, Cindy Williams was nice. Penny Marshall wasn't a bad person. She's like, she was embarrassed because she was at the Comic-Con and she just kept telling people that walk by, "I'm here for Cindy. I'm doing this for Cindy."
Oh, what? She's so accomplished. She
You know,
didn't want to lower herself to
Right.
that?
She's, and my friend Cindy asked me to be here.
No
That's
way.
how she talked.
Ripping smokes.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Sitting there. She literally looked like a bag lady. She had these
Really?
big, thick sunglasses on. Looked like she hadn't washed her hair in about 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And just sat there like, that's all
a
she
shame,
said.
man.
I'm here for Cindy. When we met the big Ragu,
Really?
he's from
God
here.
mine.
He's from here. He's from Massachusetts.
What was his real name?
His real name was Eddie Mecca.
Eddie Mecca. He just died not too long ago.
He died not long. We met both Lenny and Squiggy. Squiggy was at a Comic-Con, like when I first started going to these things, he was at one of them.
Yeah.
But then he got like multiple sclerosis or something. Very nice guy.
And Michael McKean.
Michael McKean's great. He's great. We've met him a bunch
He
of times.
strikes me as that, and I loved him in Clue, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still watch. I was watching Clue yesterday and everything. But you see
great,
things
man.
like in the Brady's Bunch movie that played Mr. Dittmeyer.
Gee, I've got $20,000.
But yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, great guy and very charming, like in real life.
Yeah. Where did you meet him?
Oh, he did a play with Bryan Cranston over in Harvard
There's a
Square.
double bill.
And we met him also. He did a play with John Larroquette. on Broadway. Remember that time, Jeff?
Yeah, sure.
If I can find the picture, it's on the screen of Jeff
Oh,
and
man,
Michael
I'd
McKean.
love to see it. John Larroquette, one of my favorites
he's-
from...
Night Court.
Yo.
He is one of the nicest guys ever, John Larroquette.
It's too bad his second wind at Night Court dumped.
And no one cared because
Nah.
everybody from the original show was dead.
For real.
So what's the point?
Yeah. I mean, I loved Richard Mall on that show.
Yeah, he just died. He died when we were at Chiller a year ago.
Unbelievable. And then...
And of course, Marky Post.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
with the hot hair.
I still can't get over how beautiful she was and how many gorgeous pictures there are floating around of her.
Is she
But-
still on?
No, she died. She
Big
died
loss.
at 70.
Yeah.
Wow.
People didn't realize what we lost and everything.
Oh,
She was
Marky Post was stunning.
Yeah, and
No
one of the
kidding.
finest looking political actresses we got.
And she was hysterical. If you watch Night Court.
Absolutely.
I mean, not only she was a 10, but she was also one of the funniest people on television in the 1980s.
I love that show. Iconic opening. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, great bits.
And then you met the judge,
Never got to meet Harry.
Harry Anderson.
Never got to meet Harry Anderson.
Night Court, baby.
Yeah, Night Court. Gotta love the opening theme.
Absolutely. Boom, boom,
And the show was created by, was it Reinhold Wedgie?
Reinhold Wedgie.
Reinhold Wedgie. And you can hear him on every show because he's off camera. He was like the creator of it. And you heard that laugh.
That was him.
That was him.
No kidding.
Yep. That was Reinhold Wedgie, or Ouija, or whatever how his name is pronounced.
And that's back when they shot those in front of a live
On a
studio
live
audience.
studio audience. Everybody got their start on Night Court. Brent Spiner, before he was Data, was that hillbilly guy.
It was the perfect show for someone to do a cameo
Right.
on.
Michael J. Fox was on it.
Yeah.
You name it was on
Mel
there.
Torme, so many episodes with
Right.
Mel Torme.
Mel Torme, because he was
Mel
Harry
Torme.
Anderson's hero.
Mentor.
And, of course, Harry Anderson's, we found out that his father was Gomez from the Addams Family.
Amazing, man.
And he's still kicking.
Is he really?
John Aston is like 96, and he's still around.
the only Adams we got that's still with us.
Right?
Wow, we need to preserve him.
Very nice man.
You
we
met him?
met him at Chiller as well.
I can't wait.
You better be ready for this. This
All right.
is going to be iconic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing my best to convince my
Warden.
my family members to not book anything that week that's going to remotely distract me from going to this.
Okay.
You'll have to haul me down.
All right. Well, we'll kidnap
Kidnap me.
We'll kidnap you like they did in
Just
BA.
show
on
up
the
in front of my
18th.
house. Exactly. Just grab me, snap me, boom, right in the van, duct tape me, make it look real.
Yeah, we'll do it. You're not the first person we've abducted.
We'll only need you for like 12 to 15 hours, but that's what it is.
12 to 15 hours. Probably about 23 hours.
Oh, yeah, that's what I like. I mean, it's only like pretty much 1 to 2 days, but it come and goes like that. But
Yeah, coming.
You know what I'm going to have to pick up for this ride if it's 23 hours, man. I'm going to have to pick up the rape dick pillow.
Well,
A rape dick pillow.
sure.
yeah,
I need one.
It's another way to say therapeutic, but yes, pick yourself the rape dick of your own.
With or without foreskin?
Oh, with.
Okay, all right. Extra comfort, right?
Yeah. Guys, I had a blast tonight.
Oh, so did I. It's
Unbelievable.
Oh, my God. So we'll see you the next time on the Rundown. I just want to thank all of my guests tonight. Had a blast. South Boston Jeff.
hey, ditto. I had a blast too.
Quincy Brisco.
Well, thanks. As usual, you put on a good show.
I appreciate it. And Quincy shot a custom commercial for me tonight. It ran earlier during the show. And then one of my good friends, my mentor, one of the best guys I know in show business, TC Restani.
Always a pleasure to be on the Rundown with CJ.
This was a good episode, guys. I just want to take the time to remind everyone that we'll be back on the air pretty soon. I appreciate everyone for coming out and listening to this episode. Don't forget to rewind your mind, and we'll see you the next time on the Rundown.